Hello, you are watching the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Trong Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Party General Secretary Tô receives Cuban Vice State President. Military parade in the sky of peace. Global media spotlights Vietnam's 50th reunification anniversary. Right after the ceremony of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and National Reunification Day in Ho Chi Minh City, Party General Secretary Tô met with visiting Cuban Vice President Salvador Valdez Mesa. General Secretary Tô respectfully extended his regards and thanks to leaders of the Cuban party and state for sending a high-ranking delegation to Vietnam to share the joy with the party, state, and people of Vietnam during these historic April days, especially as the two countries are celebrating the 65th founding anniversary of the diplomatic ties later this year. He emphasized that Vietnam always treasures and remembers the solidarity and sincere support of Cuba, both spiritual and material, in the past struggle for national liberation and reunification, as was in the current cause of national defense and construction. The loyal friendship and special cooperation between the two countries are the valuable assets that need preserving, promoting, and passing on to future generations. Mr. Salvador Valdez Mesa congratulated Vietnam on successfully organizing the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification, and affirmed that the 1975 victory was a victory of justice and conscience, a victory of not only the Vietnamese people, but also of all peace-loving people in the world, including the brotherly Cuban people. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính received Visiting Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of Tanzania, Mahmoud Thabit Kombo, in Ho Chi Minh City on April the 30th after attending the Grand National Ceremony. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính welcomed the first official visit to Vietnam by the Tanzanian minister, which took place on the occasion of the 60th anniversary of the diplomatic ties between the two countries. He emphasized that the presence of the Tanzanian minister and distinguished guest at the celebration brought joy and valuable encouragement to the party, state, the people of Vietnam. The host noted his belief that Tanzania would achieve even greater successes in national construction and development. Minister Mahmoud Thabit Kombo showed his impression of General Secretary Tô message at the grand ceremony about Vietnam's future development and commitments to the international community. Highly agreeing with the cooperation orientation proposed by the host, the guest hoped that more Vietnamese enterprises would be exploring cooperation opportunities in Tanzania, especially in the agricultural sector, to access the markets of East African countries. Also on April the 30th in Ho Chi Minh City, Mr. Đỗ Văn Chiến, President of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee, received a delegation from the National Liberation Front of Algeria, led by Politburo member Ben Salem Mohamed, on the occasion of their participation in the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification. Mr. Đỗ Văn Chiến welcomed the high-level FLN delegation to the celebration, an event of great significance not only to the Vietnamese people, but also as a chance to express profound gratitude for the valuable support of international friends and peace-loving people around the world, including Algeria. Mr. Ben Salem Mohamed affirmed that the Vietnamese people's struggle for national independence has always been an endless inspiration for the people of Algeria. During the meeting, the two sides agreed to consolidate and promote traditional relations through promoting delegation exchanges to increase political trust, enhance mutual understanding, inherit and promote the good legacy in the bilateral relationship. The military parade marking the grand celebration on April the 30th began with a powerful and majestic aerial display by the Vietnam People's Army's Air Force, showcasing its strength, combat readiness, and mastery of modern aviation technology. The performance reflected the Air Force's proud tradition of unwavering determination and air superiority. For the first time, the Air Force mobilized a large number of combat aircraft to perform an aerial show over the sky of Ho Chi Minh City. 10 helicopters flew in formation, carrying party flags and the national flags. The performance also featured 7 Su-30 Mk-2 fighter jets and 6 Yak-130 advanced jet trainers, demonstrating coordination and technical prowess. During the historic Ho Chi Minh campaign, the Victory Squadron struck directly at the final stronghold of the Saigon regime, contributing decisively to the resounding victory that liberated the South and reunified the country. The enduring legacy of the Vietnam People's Army's Air Force continues to affirm the strength, bravery, and ingenuity of the Vietnamese people. Carrying forward its heroic tradition, the Air Force remains a vital force in safeguarding national airspace in all circumstances. The images of the party and national flags flying high in the sky serve not only as a sacred national symbol, but also as powerful reminders of the nation's glorious revolutionary past. Under the peaceful blue skies of the city named after President Ho Chi Minh, the Air Force earned the admiration and deep trust of the people. The performance of the Air Force, the parades, the military, public security, militia forces, and the masses representing all classes of people and ethnic groups across the country in the national ceremony in Ho Chi Minh City on April the 30th have become a vivid and majestic demonstration of the strength of the great national unity bloc under the leadership of the party. The parade troops of the People's Army and People's Public Security Forces marched with a heroic spirit, symbolizing the might, discipline, and agelessness of the Vietnam People's Armed Forces, affirming the strength and readiness to safeguard the fatherland in all situations, for peace, independence of the nation, happiness of the people, contributing to fostering peace for humanity in the new era. The presence of 3 formations from the militaries of China, Laos, and Cambodia at the parade demonstrated the spirit of pure international solidarity, Vietnam's appreciation for the support, solidarity, and assistance of international friends, and the goodwill and commitment to join hands with countries around the world to foster regional peace. More than 60 military parade formations carried special significance in both historical and practical aspects, affirmed the value of peace, unity, and territorial integrity of the fatherland, promotes traditional cultural identity and deep integration in all fields, and serves as an important bridge between Vietnam and international friends. Coming up next, UN University for Peace Ambassador praises Vietnam's efforts in peace building. Global media spotlights Vietnam's 50th reunification anniversary. On the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the National Reunification Day, April the 30th, 1975, April the 30th, 2025, and the 50th founding anniversary of the Vietnam-Mexico diplomatic ties, May the 19th, 1975, May the 19th, 2025. The Vietnamese Embassy in Mexico and the National Autonomous University of Mexico jointly organized a seminar entitled Vietnam New Era of Development. According to the Dean of the Faculty of Economics at UNAM University, Lorena Rodriguez-Leon, the context of many fluctuations of the world economy, Vietnam has emerged as a remarkable success model. From a war-torn country, Vietnam has risen to become one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. Vietnamese ambassador to Mexico Nguyễn Văn Hải underlined the significance of the event right on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and the national reunification. For nearly 50 years, based on similarities in cultural traditions and history, the Vietnam-Mexico relationship has always been imbued with friendship, cooperation, and mutual support on bilateral and multilateral scale. Also on this occasion, Ambassador David Fernandez Puyana, permanent observer of the University for Peace, or UPeace for short, shared his views on the significance of this historic event, as well as Vietnam's progress in development and international integration in recent years. Ambassador David Fernandez Puyana expressed his joy in joining Vietnam in celebrating such a meaningful occasion. He noted that this was a historic milestone for both Vietnam and the world.
First of all,
Vietnam is a peace-loving nation. We need role models, and we look to Vietnam as a model of reconciliation and peace building, as well as a global example of fostering trust. With extensive experience in promoting cooperation with Vietnam, most recently through his visit to Hanoi to sign a memorandum of understanding between the University for Peace and the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, the ambassador praised Vietnam and Hanoi as symbols of peace and ideal centers for promoting peaceful solutions in the region and around the world. Ambassador David Fernandez Puyana also mentioned Vietnam's bamboo diplomacy, describing it as an effective approach in a world full of uncertainties and challenges. He affirmed that Vietnam has demonstrated to the world its flexibility and commitment to dialogue in overcoming difficulties. On April 30th, leading international media outlets prominently featured reports and images celebrating the 50th anniversary of Vietnam's liberation of the South and national reunification. Many publications emphasized the event's grand scale and solemnity while underscoring its powerful message of peace, national unity, and Vietnam's rising stature in the region. On Passason, the official mouthpiece of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, attributed Vietnam's historic victory to the nation's steadfast resolve, widespread public support, and strategic leadership, key factors that led to the complete liberation of the South and reunification of the country. In Cambodia, Khmer Times reported that over 100 troops from the Royal Cambodian Armed Forces had been dispatched to Vietnam to join the parade, marking the first time Cambodian military personnel have participated in such a large-scale event in Vietnam. Cuban television channel Canal Caribe aired a special documentary marking the occasion, lauding the historical significance of Vietnam's victory and emphasizing the enduring lesson of national solidarity, such as source of strength. Russian outlet Mirror News published an article titled "Vietnam Marks 50 Years Since War's End with Grand Parade," which highlighted a key excerpt from General Secretary To Lâm speech. War leaves behind profound lessons. Among them, the most important is the ability to leave the past behind and look to the future. In China, major state-run media, including Xinhua, China, and China News, broadcast footage of the Chinese People's Liberation Army Honor Guard participating in Vietnam's parade. Chinese media hailed the gesture as a symbol of deep-rooted friendship and strong international cooperation between the two nations. Agence France-Presse reported that Vietnam held its largest ever celebration of National Reunification Day. AFP noted that while most Vietnamese today were born after the war, young people remain highly engaged in commemorative events and express great pride in their country's past. The Associated Press describes the 50th anniversary as a milestone for a unified modern Vietnam, marked by a large-scale military parade and mass festivities showcasing national pride and resilience. British news agency Reuters, an article titled "Victory of Faith," described a moving and patriotic atmosphere throughout Ho Chi Minh City. Quoting General Secretary To Lâm, "Vietnam is one. The Vietnamese people are one." Mexican daily La Jornada published striking images from the celebration, praising the 1975 victory as a turning point that not only unified Vietnam but restored peace, but also laid the foundation for its rise as one of Asia's emerging economic powers. Meanwhile, ABC News of Australia observed that the April 30th parade clearly showcased Vietnam's national pride and growing military strength. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch news again at QPVN.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.